It's an odd thing when you think about this, as I did today, where you just go out and you were doing what you thought was normal, and you did it. And almost 50 years later, it's a historical moment. If it would have worked out better for Custer, he'd have probably been surprised. Like, really? You care about that? It's just odd. It just is. And overwhelming a little bit. Really. So to start, we'll say two things about my wardrobe. I have my Niles Place hat on, which was the Wakanda, way before it was the Wakanda. Now modern. And I'm wearing my dad's belt buckle, which Bob Scott wants so bad. And that's why I wore it.
I carved my name on the back.
Because I took it, and he saw it, and it's evidently pretty rare, pretty good one. So anyway, we'll step back into the Wayback Machine and see how it all turns out. Now to start, when I told my wife I was going to do this, she said, "Well, you're not going to talk about booze and drugs, are you?" I said, "Well, you better call Ellen and tell her I can't do it, because that's kind of what the 80s were. Not for their own sake, and I'm not saying that. Had they invented Red Bull a little earlier, we probably would have left the other stuff alone. But there was no Red Bull, so anyway, I'm going to give a small introduction. Barkey Lew. And the light goes out. Well, that's not good. Oh my God. Did I have a stroke? What the hell was that? I didn't even touch it. Hey, me and IT don't get along, I'll tell you that. AI and I are not friends. Go out again, I'll throw you right out the door.
I've got another one.
Don't tell him that. Barky Lew. How did that start? Well, a guy named Steve Cormy moved down Colorado Springs, 1979, in the fall. Joined a band of guys I already knew, and was playing with them. We became pretty good friends right off the bat. And we were out, as we were always out. And it happened to be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So, of course, didn't have to work the next day. So we go to the little bar we always went to. His band's playing, I'm drinking, and it was a pretty big night. That's all I can say. Well, the next day, get up, go upstairs, because they happen to live right above me in a big apartment complex. Two of the guys from Van Corby, another guy lived upstairs. "Well, how much did you spend last night?" I said, "Hell, I don't know." Got out my MasterCard receipt when you used to have to sign such a thing. And instead of Randy Lewis, it said Barkey Lew. I went, "Oh, okay, ha. So another week or two goes by. And another pretty big night, and somebody says, "Boy, that Barkey guy was out again." It's like, "Oh, okay, ha. Well, this went on for a little while, and I'm telling you, if I am lying, I'm dying. After a little while, I had people that I know personally came up to tell me what he did like I wasn't there. Barkey said, "What? He did what? You're kidding me." And the light came on, I thought, this is a license to do anything I want. And they don't blame me. I'm just the guy that gets up every freaking morning and goes and makes the money so Barky Lew can go out at night and spend it. And I thought, okay, let's roll with this for a while. Well, little did I know that a while was going to be a long while. Because as time went on, every Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we had a party. And Cormy and all the guys in his band And for years, even after they disbanded, they'd come back or whatever, we had that party for 40 years.
Wow.
40 years. We had the Barkey Lew party the day before Thanksgiving. And never had a decent Thanksgiving for 40 years. But anyway.
Tell them what Dick said.
Yeah, Dickie Stu, my best friend. He said that same thing. He goes, I haven't had a decent Thanksgiving since I met you. But anyway, that's the Barkey Lew story. So he was a totally different guy. It had nothing to do with me. I was just the guy that went to work and made the money. So, Cormy says to me, about September of, would have been 79. I moved down from a little town you'd really like. Huh. And, you know, damned if he wasn't right. So, okay, when are we going to come up? Well, they're playing, it's winter, blah, blah, blah. Let's go off for Rude Awakening. Okay. So, they're off, it's a Sunday, they play Saturday night. Of course, I'm there helping them out, backing them up all the way. We get up early, off we go to Grand Lake. We pull into town, Rude Awakening at Squeaky Bob's, down the Rockies. Corny jumps up, gets out of the car, runs in. We figured he just was making a bathroom break. The other three of us get out, we look down the street, it's snowing, it's May. There's about 3 cars on the street, total. We look up the street, we look down the street, and we go, boy, yeah, this is a jumping spot here. This is what we came up for here. Before we got in the front door, Cormy met us coming out the front door with a tray of Jack shoes, which at the time was the drink of choice.
Or not your choice.
Well, which was Yukon Jack, which is a very high-proof bourbon with some schnapps on top of it just so you can choke it down. Not really your tastiest of drinks, but it got you where you were going. So that's how the day started. So we went through, did I have another stroke? I'm warning you, machine. I'm warning you. Don't mess with me, AI, Al.
It's heck no to techno.
Yeah, heck no to techno. Hey, thank you. There's my IT girl from the town right there. I go to her with my phone. She goes, okay, what's your problem? And she fixes it in about 30 seconds, and I go on. So anyway, we're here. It's snowing. Obviously, there's nothing going on in the beer garden. We sit inside, drink all afternoon. We come down to the new place in town, owned by 2 guys, called the Lariat Saloon. Meet them. We go over, the Little Bear had a band, so we went over there for most of the night. The night goes on. I have to get everybody up at like 7 o'clock because they have to be back, because they have to play an outdoor concert at Colorado College that next day. So I find everybody, we all stayed upstairs, get everybody in the car, here we go, hungover. Well, an odd thing happened that day. The very day I got here, Mount St. Helens blew up. I don't think we had anything to do with it. I'm not sure, but I don't think we did. But anyway, we get back to Colorado Springs in time for them to set up for an outdoor concert, just in time for all the ash to come and get all over their equipment. And we didn't know what happened. We weren't listening to the radio. But that's how I know exactly when I first stepped foot in Grand Lake, because Mount St. Helens blew up. Which will be the 18th, which is coming up, be 46 years ago.
Wow.
So that's how it all started. So anyway, when I got introduced around town, of course, I was Barkey Lew. And everybody, yeah, nobody thought a thing about it. And that's the way it was for many, many years. And there were people I knew for a decade did not know what my name was. There's one. Here's a hand came up. And I'll say, if anybody has any comments or anything, jump right in. Because this is not going to be a fast-paced Las Vegas style show. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, and they did not know, and they didn't care. I was just this guy that came up, and I was Cormy's friend, so I was okay. And I could drink, which was a very important part of the whole package, because that's what people did. And it wasn't to just get fallen down drunk, you just drank. That's what you did. And yes, there were some drugs involved. Had there been Red Bull, like I say, it might not have been so many stimulants, but there wasn't, so we did what we had to do. So anyway, that's the beginning. We came up that next winter. Oh, let's go up for the Super Bowl. Let's see what's going on up there in the winter. So we drive up on a Sunday. We go into the Lariat Saloon. So that would have been the winter of 1980. There's 4 people in there for Super Bowl Sunday. 2 of them owned the place, and 1 person was working there. There was 1 other person in the place. And we went, boy, party going on here. Well, once word got around that we were up, people started coming down. They were coming out of their house. We probably had, I'm not saying a lot of people, but 20 people, maybe 25 people. So just by the fact that we showed up, we quadrupled their business. And I thought, well, this is all right. So the next summer, I started coming up. Courtney had to work. He was still with the band. And we'd come up and we started going to the beer garden. And here we are, beer garden pictures. The big blow-up Godzilla we took with us literally everywhere we went.
He was at our wedding.
Oh
True story.
yeah. George Warner, who used to own the building and the motel next to the Wakanda.
Yep.
Old buddy Chuck Schmuck. Old buddy Chuck Schmuck, the gut bucket player. He told me once the VD was so bad in Grand Lake, the only way they could wipe it out in the late 70s is they brought in a crop duster and aerial sprayed with penicillin. That's him, that's not me, he said it. I don't know who that guy was. But he should have knocked off the hamburger a little earlier. But,
Still has the shirt.
yeah. My buddy Fetch, old buddy Fetch. Fetch and I hatched a beer garden plot one time. We were going to be governor and lieutenant governor. And our platform was going to be, we were going to legalize drugs, legalize gambling, and legalize prostitution. 2 out of 3 happened. We were just ahead of our time. He was a good guy. Really good guy. There he is. Mr. Grand Lake. Sorry, Bob.
I told him.
Before they started giving the award, he was probably it. You got it ever since. Yeah. Now there is what Buffalo Barbecue used to look like. And those of you that weren't here that early, the street was 16 feet wider than it is now. Because the parking areas were not in there. So it was a lot. I mean, a lot of people and a lot of things, and it was a big deal. Well, part of that was the people then that worked here had time, they could build a float, they could do these things and put on this stuff. Now everybody has to work. They don't have time to be doing that, they just can't. It's too bad, but it's the way it is. If it's a Saturday in the summer, you can't be out fooling around the street, you gotta be at work. You know, and that's just the way, it's just the way things changed.
That's because we had to start in November.
Barky, question, Barky.
Yes,
What did they do with parking though? Where'd everyone park?
what did they do with parking?
Where did people park if it was 16 feet wide?
Well, they're probably standing, those people are probably standing in front of the car. Because we did not have 32 feet trucks in 1980. Nobody envisioned that a person, somebody would just drive a truck that's 32 feet long as their personal vehicle. Nobody even envisioned that. You know, and now it's just a normal thing, and that's why we have problems now. You know, if somebody in a big truck parks down by the stop sign, there's not a lot of room to get around.
No way.
But nobody thought of that. Yes?
I remember when they used to close the stores during the parade so that the employees could.
Yes, exactly. Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Because they had to be on the float, for one thing. Here they are, another thing they had during Buffalo, the bed races.
Oh, yeah.
They would, people had to, am I not hitting the right button here? I'm warning you. There we go. Bed races, they started at the 4-way, all the way down, back. You had to have 2 riders. That's Martha, who worked at Squeaky Bob's.
And Joe Babbitt.
Had a great show for the Gong Show, Martha and the Vanillas. This one happened to be a couple of those guys. One guy was in Cormy's band, some other guys we came up with. They roped me into it one time. Of course, I was a younger and more lithe man then. We were pushing a bed down the road. We got about to the end of the park, and it collapsed. And I was leaning on it, and I was like a cartoon. I took about 5 steps before I realized I wasn't leaning on anything. Whammo. Come walking back. I was the only one bleeding after the show was over. You know, it was all for a good time. Ah, my other buddy, Gino, and his parent. At least he was smart enough to have a towel down.
Barkey Lew.
Yes.
I've tried all day to remember the bird's name.
It was something, excuse me, Mexican. Was it Pedro?
I took care of that bird.
Or I think it was like Pedro or something.
The only sounds it made were washing machine sounds and telephone sounds.
Gene.
He was so cute.
And the general. Yeah. I'm sure that was Western Week. Buffalo Barbecue used to be a whole week. And they did different things, and at one time they had horse races. And it was a big event. And but like I say, you know, things change, and now you couldn't even pay the liability on a horse race. You couldn't have a horse race down the street. You couldn't possibly pay the insurance on that. Too bad. There's Laura again, and Terry. You'll notice one thing about every picture I take in the beer garden. You'll never see anybody that's not smiling. There's Dickie Stu. Hi, pal. Yep. Back in the day of short shorts.
The OP shorts.
OP shorts.
OP shorts.
There it is. We come to bury Manilow, not to praise him.
We stole that.
Well, when they sold the Lariat, I didn't know where it was going to go, so I just took it. The fun tour. I'll say this about the fun tour.
The fun tour.
I'm not sure exactly how it started. It was in the beer garden, obviously. We're on the fun tour, always on the lookout for fun. Well, I got the idea. I had some buttons made up that just said fun tour. I think it was 84 was the first one. I knew a guy had a button machine. He made a couple dozen. Brought them up, gone. Everybody wanted them. Next year, I thought, okay, had to make like 6 dozen. Brought them up, gone. Third year, he made a gross of fun tour buttons. 144 buttons, gone. Every one of them. Everybody, just people that they wanted to be in the fun tour. It was just a thing. Oh, you're on the fun tour? Yep, got my button, and I know. I'll tell you.
Who the hell is Barkey Lew?
I'll tell one on Gene Stover. They had the house up there, had a leak in his water bed. So back in those days, people that had a water bed, you know what that was about. You had to drain it, see what the deal was, he finds the leak, all right, because there's a fun tour button stuck in his water. Somehow. I kind of got a kick out of it. Bob Beck. Toulouse Levesque. Part owner of Squeaky Bob's. Good guy. But I'll tell you, Bob, he was something. He'd be in there if he had too big a day. Let's say that it was dinner time. They were trying to get him out of there. They'd send him say, "Go down to the Lariat and bring us back a bottle of vodka. We're short." Knowing he'd never come back. Or if he did, it'd be 4 hours later. He had some people, he was bartending once, some people from the corner cupboard come down, and he said, "We're out of Perrier," when that was a thing. "Do you have any?" "Oh yeah, we have it on tap." He sold him a pitcher of soda water. Told him it was Perrier. There'd be a crowd in there. It would be raining, pouring. So these people were essentially trapped inside, spending money. He'd come in and take, umbrella rides, going to the Lariat, and take people out. And his partner would be like, "Really?" He was a visionary. One time they came to him, they said they were running out of pennies. He said, "I'll give them nickels." Isn't that where we're at now? He was ahead of his time.
He was like the DW of the...
Bob Beck. My buddy Stu. Mary Sue. Yeah. He was another owner, my buddy Ducky, another owner of the Lariat.
And
Was,
is that Babe?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But he was involved in a boat wreck out on the lake, pretty bad wreck. He had a piece of the aluminum that went around the glass of the boats at that time stuck in his head. They had to flight him for life to Denver General, okay? He had the highest blood alcohol content of anybody that lived. When I heard that, I said, "Don't they take the bums down there that drink Sterno?" Yeah. So I have no idea what it was, but it had to be pretty spectacular. Probably the only reason he lived.
He's from Grand Lake.
Huh?
Because he was from Grand Lake.
Yeah. Probably the only reason he made it. What do we have here? Oh, more beer. Yes, my buddy Chuck Schmuck played the gut bucket. Chuck played the bucket. Cormy wrote that song. Stu again.
Yeah, you really like him, don't you? He's everywhere.
Cormy.
Who's that playing with?
I think that's Lewis, isn't it? Because, like I said, Cormy didn't live here the first few years in the early 80s. He was in Colorado Springs with the band. But he got in, of course, with Jeannie DW ran the Little Bear. They would come up, they'd bring the whole band and play the weekend. And of course, they'd play in the beer garden while they were here. Yeah. There's a trio right there, I'll tell you what. You can hear some good tunes coming out of that guy on the left, I'm sure of that. They paid him hundreds of dollars to not sing. Ah, the Gong Show. Let's talk for a minute about the Gong Show. Every weekend they had something going on in the beer garden, or they tried to. They always had entertainment, but they had special things. Well, the Gong Show. Well, let's do that. Okay. Well, who should we get for judges? Well, let's get that Barkey Lew guy. He's pretty good. Let's get that Nile Motter guy. He's pretty good. And some poor little guy named Chuck. I don't even remember. But before we got started, they brought us in 3 bottles of homemade schnapps that
To be the judges, right?
well, it was, I can't think of his name. What was the guy's name that was the writer for the paper? Cease Crusoe. had made. So I'm sure it was pretty high test stuff. Well, we're sitting there, we have 3 acts. That's it. Because this is a new thing, people weren't really, you know, that, and most of them were tourists. They didn't want to, you know, well, let's just say there was a lot of filming. And a lot of the filming was the judges getting hammered. Before it was over, little Chuck went down, they dragged him off. Now went down, they dragged him off. I finally went down, they dragged me upstairs. Got up, never saw my sunglasses again. And I thought, you know, I'm sure that some guy picked those up. And they're on his mantle somewhere in Kansas. And when he has a barbecue, guys come over and they go, what's with the sunglasses there, Bob? And he goes, you know, those were on the drunkest son of a bitch I have ever seen. and I hope that that's what happened to him. Niall owned Doc's place. They took him down to his place, got him upstairs in his room, locked him in. Because they didn't want him up running around for dinner, disturbing the crowd. Well, they hear a crash, they hear glass break, they don't know what's going on, they don't want to open the door. Finally, a little while goes on. This is all true. I'm not making one drop of this up. It's quiet. They go up and open the door. They look down. Here's burnt matches, and he tried to burn the door down to get out. Thinking it works in the movies, right? So he passes out. So anyway, later that night, we're up, because recuperation was a big part of drinking. I'm sitting there next to Niall in Squeaky Bob's. He looks at me, he says, you think you had a rough night? And looks at me, he didn't have one eye. I did not know he had a glass eye until that moment. He looks at me and I thought, oh my God, what happened? You know, I did not know. He used to love, he'd sit next to him, Sneller knows this, would sit next to somebody at the bar that went look, and he'd drop that in their drink. Oh yeah. Yeah. Niall Otter. He finally moved down to Arizona, got all sobered up and plane and died. Yep. Now, there we go.
His eye is still behind the lariat.
There's me, my former boss, or as he would be, my boss-to-be, my 2 friends.
Yep.
Gong Show. The Big B. There it is, Godzilla. The Fun Tour sign was in a little better shape then. No, they didn't like me much. They just put up banners. I drove into town and went, holy crap. I don't spend that much money here, do I? Evidently I did. I always said that, you know. I've had a really, really, really fun life. Then I spent a lot of money on booze and drugs and women and gambling, and the rest of it I just pissed away. That was earlier.
Where was that taken?
In front of Squeaky Bob's, Rockies. Yeah. I drive into town, there it is. I'm like, holy smokes. All right, here we are at the turtle races. And there's the guy, he used to have the bakery, the Doughboy. And they started the turtle races, as we said, the slowest 2 minutes in sports. And it was big. It was a big time event. And people would come from all over Kansas and they'd take their turtles home. If you paid for the turtle, you got to take it home, and some people would keep them year after year, and there was pari-mutuel betting.
Oh, yeah.
Because, as Corny's song says, little care we for the law.
And Elvira.
Elvira, they had a turtle in the first race. I'm not sure it's dead yet.
It is dead now.
Take care of Elvira for like 4 years.
Elvira was like 20 years old when she died.
Here's my guys.
Yay!
There they are. They bought the Lariat Saloon and a 5-bedroom house and started in 1980 for $100,000. How'd that be now, Donna? What do you think we get for that? Do we add the zeros or a couple zeros on that?
You mean together?
Yeah.
The house and the barn?
Yeah, yes.
Wow.
And they had to work. They worked hard to pay for that note.
They drank.
Yeah, they don't work.
Well, you had to own a bar if you're gonna drink that much. That's the former mayor on the left, Gene Stover, my buddy, and my other buddy, D.W. Slosser. And they own the various, and Cormy's in the middle. We were at the Lariat, this is just an offshoot, but like I say, fast-paced Las Vegas show. We go out to see the comet comes by, the one that had the spaceship behind it, Hale-Bopp. So we wait till the dark of the moon. I have a telescope I've had since I was 8. I said, we'll take it out to the East Inlet and we'll see this thing. So a bunch of us, we go to the Lariat, we go out there. Literally, when you got out of the car and shut the door, you could not see this far. Nothing. I mean, it was so black. D.W. is standing next to me. I said, D.W.? He goes, yeah. Are you standing next to me? He goes, yeah. I said, are you wearing a fur coat? So everybody, I said, which way are you gonna run? And we didn't see the spaceship, I can tell you that. There's the other owner of Squeaky Bob's, Bill Reardon, and was probably the most sensible of the three. But he really, you know, as bad as things were, he really stomped on our fun sometimes. He was kind of an old lady sometimes. He'd say, no, guys, don't do that. And we'd go, maybe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. There's the Godzilla. Now, that is Cormy wearing the cut-out Godzilla over, and he's playing the banjo. This is turtle races. So when we're ready to go out for a parade, we just went. No police, no permit, no nothing, no permission, middle of the day on a Saturday, let's go out and walk down the street. Okay, let's. More pictures of the turtle races. Now here's a good one. This on the left is a volcano. The Saturday before the turtle races, they were on Sunday, they would have the sacrifice to the turtle gods for good weather. So they would put flash powder under this. This was made out of chicken wire and tin, sheeted tin. And they would put flash powder under there, put a little toy turtle on top, and the smoke would come up, and that was the sacrifice for good weather. Well, one year, the flash guy ain't there. Somebody else loads the volcano. They plug this in, and I swear to Christ, it goes, it explodes. It's just shrapnel. Not one person even got nicked, and I don't know how. I don't know how somebody didn't even get killed, because this thing exploded. They found the turtle next door in the golf course. They brought it over, and I had it on my turtle hat for a long time. I glued it on there as a good luck. But I'm telling you, it was just a miracle that nobody was just flat killed. There's the old sign when it was new. Not even stained yet. Here they are, right down the middle of the street.
So Bill Bruton's here, he made the sign.
Yeah. Bernie, turtle race and track. You can tell it's race day because of the extensive banners. My lovely wife to be. Looking at me like, really? You gonna have another beer? Here's the guys. Aaron, Rowan, Bernie, the boss.
You are like the last few.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, this guy looks sober. There's your sign again. There we are going down the middle of the road. Just whatever.
Do you still have that hat?
That was not mine, oddly enough.
We have plenty of other things.
I have other ones, but that wasn't mine. All right. Come on. Come on. No, we're hung up here. IT,
Here.
we're hung up.
I'm not on duty.
Well,
She's not moving anymore. Oh, I should have just use it. Yeah, just use it. That's what everybody says. Yeah, just use that. Yeah. Oh, there's a good crowd shot. The guy behind us like, what the hell am I following? You know? Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's a good one, Corby, coming in, playing the banjo in a Godzilla turtle. The Lariat owned this stagecoach, and it sat outside of their place for quite a while.
Where'd it go?
I don't know what they finally did with it. This is all, now we've jumped ahead to the Buffalo Barbecue. Yes, that is Carol Ann and the girls from the Lariat. Yes. Yeah.
She was young, she had more hair.
Go back.
Lisa Wehan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still the best swill, that's what it says. And we went on, and there were people, that was the synchronized shopping cart, whatever. Some nice, I don't know why I took a picture of a truck, but there's a nice hot rod. I mean, Buffalo Barbecue Parade were huge. They were huge. They might last 2 hours. I mean, they were just huge.
And you were so wet at the end.
Here's the people, they came over, they were the marching team with snow shovels. They were called the Snowflakes. And they came from Estes Park, I believe, and they did precision, you know, they do little drills and turn around, and there they are. Yeah, the Snowflakes. And they had, here we go, and the bagpipe band would come in. Lots of horses.
Remember,
Here is my husband and my son. Go back one, go back.
Lots of horses.
Barky. Barky, oh, it's Jonas.
Who's that, Martine?
And then, is that me?
That one? Is that the one you wanted?
Yeah, that's the one. Keep going, there is a better one.
Go back to this guy? Ah, what a hunk there, Martine. Come on. Come on.
My son would love to see that.
Yeah, he probably still has the same act. Louis the man. Former mayor. Those of you that didn't know Louis, former vaudevillian, could tap dance, tell you some stories. But actually, this is about the tamest outfit I've ever seen him in. Because Louis, he wasn't colorblind, but I think he was pattern blind. He'd have on checkered pants, a paisley shirt, and a striped sports coat. And you just think, all right, whatever we're going for. And Gladys wasn't much better. But he ran the PA for the turtle, or for the, where the hell are we at? The Buffalo Barbecue. And when it was time to start, it started. Because that's the way it was. And he led the thing down and everybody after that. Well, they actually had one of the governors of Colorado was here as Grand Marshal. Not sure, I think it was Romer, I'm not sure. But anyway, he was in the stagecoach, which is to be the new Indian place down the street here, having a beer. And people told him, well, you better get down there because Louis will start, you know, the praise about it. They'll wait for me. Huh? No, they won't. Louis said, it's 1 o'clock or whatever it was, 12 o'clock, let's go. So the parade's coming down the street. Governor comes out of the stagecoach, gets on his float or in the car, whatever it was, and he makes the rest of the ride. And at the end of it, he goes up to Louis and goes, "Really? You wouldn't wait for me?" And Louis goes, "You got a watch? There's people waiting." Didn't care. Didn't give, did not care. And that's the way it should be. That was Louis. There's more. Now the fire trucks, and as she said, these used to be pretty wet events. Because part of it, the guys that were in the rafting companies that used to be here would have their buses, and on top of the buses they had their rafts, and they'd have them full of water. And they'd come down just bucketing water out, just, getting everybody wet, spraying them. Well, one year the fire department came in first, got around in front of the four-way over here, set up. The rafting comes by, they turned the fire hoses on and like to blew them off the bus. And everybody that was behind them. So you had to have a little better sense of humor in those days, because you come to Grand Lake, you didn't know what was going to happen.
Gonna get wet.
Yeah. Sherwood Florist, that was down the street there. Here's Aaron, bunch of nice horses. Really nice car. I just took a picture because I really liked the car.
It was brand new back then.
Yeah, it was newer. More fun. You see how elaborate the floats were? Because they had time to work on them. They had time to do that sort of thing. They just don't have it now. Another nice car.
Wait, that's Larry Saloon. Larry Saloon.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You touched something else.
The founding fathers decided to make Grand Avenue 100 feet wide so they could have rodeo.
Right. Exactly. And to his dying day, I cannot tell you how many times Louis told me, he goes, "Never been in a town where they made their main street smaller." He goes, "I don't get it. I don't know what the thinking was. It was sometime in the early 90s, but they brought it in it was 16 feet. They brought it in. And then redid it, yes.
Well, bowling with Louis was interesting because this ice act was going, and he just got tunnel vision, and you could see the front. So he would get up, and he'd spot his spot on the course, and he'd bowl the first ball. Then you'd tell him what was left, and he'd figure out where to stand for the next shot and bowl it. And when he was on,
He might make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite the athlete, Pretty good pool shooter, too. Him and Skip got into some games down the road. That was way early. And they had a guy in there one night. I wasn't there, but he was pretty much let's just say what it is, asshole. And was playing pool and Louis was playing him, and when he could see. And so he goes up to the guy and he says, "You know what?" He says, "I'll bet you $100 you don't get another shot in this game." The guy said, "What are you saying?" He goes, "I'm telling you, you're not, $100 you don't get another shot in this game." And the guy's like, "All right, you're on." He turned around and shot that 8-ball right in the pocket. Game over. "Well, I'm not paying that." The other guys around there said, "Yeah, we think you are." No, that's it. Yeah. I went a little quicker. I don't know. That's bed races. That might have got mixed in. Bed race. More floats. More floats. More floats. I'm telling you, it was big. The parades were just huge. And, I don't know what happened to this guy. This is Niall right here. The guy with the false eye. Smiling because he's got me behind bars. So he thinks.
Yeah, he didn't.
Okay, after what happened that really slowed things up as far as the downtown went was, there was a vote to have gambling, for the town of Grand Lake to have gambling. Well, ahead of that, many corporations came in and bought up all the restaurants that they could, thinking, well, if this goes through, we'll have a place, we'll slap slot machines in there, we'll be ready to go. The people that had them, you can't blame them, they got more for them than they ever thought they would have got. So a lot of the places sold. Well, there wasn't any beer garden anymore. Luckily, they could move down to the David Haven.
Yep.
Which they did. And the turtle races moved there. Rude Awakening moved there. Thanks to the barns, they kept it all going, and they still have. I guess there's rumors of Rude Awakening this year. It's not over with. And they, you know, you couldn't blame the people for selling out because they got huge money for what they never thought they would get. But it caused a lot of hard feelings. Friendships were broken up, kind of like the world is now. If you're not on my side, you're wrong, whatever side it is. But you couldn't really blame them for doing what they did. But of course, then when gambling didn't go through, all these places just sat empty. Because they weren't going to be casinos, and the people that ran them were gone. So, you know, anyway, things moved on, as they will. Here they are, trying to do a little beer garden thing at the David Haven, but, you know, it was, and they had a pool, yes. I think the motto of a really late night party there was once, as the t-shirts were made, swim high, not dry. David Haven. I'm not even telling that one. Or, here we are, that's down at the, the corner pit. This was another spot on the, because now you said, after all the daytime activities, what are you going to do after you spend about 8 hours drinking in the beer garden? Well, let's go out to dinner. Okay. There's a lot of, and there were a lot of places to go. And I'm pretty sure that at that time there were 22 liquor licenses in Grand Lake. Really? 22. Is that not correct? Madam Clerk?
Where was this at?
That would be in the corner cupboard, which is where the Silver Moose is now. And that would be where that part that goes down the street, it went around the corner, and I am not kidding you, there was a 1.5 foot difference when you went around that corner to the dining room. Whether you were drunk or sober, it was tough.
And when you worked there, it was really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. It was
Yes.
a lot of fun.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they still do it.
still dial a shot.
My wife just called Carla the other day. What are you talking about? You think they've quit?
Every good dial a shot.
Well, like I say, with 22 liquor licenses, you didn't have to go very far to get a drink. And there were some wonderful, wonderful restaurants.
Oh my God.
You know, you could always get something to eat. Clear down to the Mountain Inn, clear down the other way, the Red Fox. You came back, there was Grumpy's. You went here, you went around. And if you went out at night for the circuit, well, if you made it all the way, you'd really done something, because it was a pretty good clip.
We had a triangle.
Oh, here we are. Cabin Fever Follies. Here's all the guys. You might think this is just a shot of guys in their underwear. Yes. But they were doing ballet for the Cabin Fever Follies. The Hearts tournament.
Oh, shit.
We started doing that down at the area just for some reason to drink and gamble. What the hell?
There's that
I think Cormy won, obviously. Cheater. Was that it? Are we done? I guess we're done. Let me look and see if there's anything I wanted to bring up. Well, as I was saying, and I'm going to tell this just because I think it's funny. Of course, as I said, there were some drugs involved during the days. And it wasn't the main thing, it was just stimulants mostly, because you didn't want to be the first one to go to bed. Because otherwise you missed whatever fun was going to happen after that. If we like I said, if we'd had Red Bull, it would have been a different story. Well, the police just knew that the Lariat was the spot. They're selling the drugs, there's kilos going through there, we're gonna get them. So they go down one night, climb up on the top of the gift store across the street, which is the, Whispering Pines, I think now. And they're set up, and they've got cameras, and we're gonna see in that office, and we're gonna see those kilos come out, and we're gonna have them. Well, somebody walks out of the Little Bear. What are you guys doing up there? Shh, shh, what are you doing? People come out, well, hey guys, come on. Everybody comes out. And they're going, what are you guys doing? And they're all like, oh. So they have to take all their surveillance. And it was pretty bad. They didn't get the evidence they thought they were going to get.
The bear is Charlie.
The what?
Tell him the little bear is Charlie.
The little, what? Oh, the Little Bear was Charlie's, yes. Jeannie DW ran that for many years and had entertainment over there. That's where Corby's band played a lot of times at night. And it was a really jumping. It was so old, it wasn't the setup it is now, before they'd redone it. The band was at one side, literally. People would be dancing, and I am not making this up. That floor would move at least a foot. At least a foot, if not more. It went so bad one night, one of the speakers fell off of its stand. Then I told who I was with, I said, you know, we're going to die in a rock and roll accident in here, because this whole floor is going in. But
We tried, but we couldn't break it.
yes. Yes.
There was a guy at Canelli who used to climb up the fireplace and refused to come down.
Oh. Do you remember the toga parties?
Right,
there?
The what?
He climbed up the fireplace.
Toga parties.
The toga parties.
Oh, there, you know, there were so
Everybody
many.
ended up naked.
There were so many parties. And so,
The sheets
it was so much fun. Yeah.
No, it was never
Talk
intentional.
about the talking buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. They had the buffalo head in the Lariat, and still do. And they put a microphone in it, so it was hidden.
The mic was at the other end of the bar.
Right, the mic was at the other end of the bar, and somebody would sit there, and somebody would go get it and say, you make a little noise, and they kind of look, and the buffalo goes, would you scratch my nose? And they, you know, they'd laugh, whoever it was, he'd go, please, would you scratch my nose? And normally the people would reach up and scratch it. Say, now would you go next door to the gift store and scratch my ass? And there was a stuffed boar's head in the women's room that they decided later to put a speaker in that. So they would wait for some poor girl to go in, give her a few minutes, somebody get the mic and go, nice panties. Give her a scream, and she come tearing out.
Barkey Lew.
Probably get you in a lot of trouble now.
Barkey Lew, that was the unisex bathroom.
Oh, the unisex, yes, the
It wasn't a boar, but it was a boar's butt or something.
No, that was the woolly booger.
Yeah.
The famous stuffed woolly booger, which was like a deer's ass with a mouth with teeth and two eyeballs put on the back of it. And they said the most dangerous thing about it when you were on it, you didn't know if you were sneaking up on it or not. Because you didn't know which way it was facing. Yeah, the woolly booger. Well, I think that's about all I got. And look at that. For those of you under 40, this is called a watch, and it tells you the time. And you don't have to look at your phone. Thank you.